The trailer for Primitive War has finally arrived, giving us a thrilling look, a first look at this unexpected mash-up or hybrid of a Jurassic Park and the Apocalypse Now movie. Based on the novel and comics by Ethan Pettis, the premise is as stated. Set in Vietnam in 1968, the Primitive War movie will follow a search and rescue team known as Vulture Squad sent to an isolated jungle valley to reveal the fate of a missing Green Beret platoon. As they hunt through the primordial depths of the valley and the casualties mount, the Vulture Squad members must embrace their savage instincts to survive the horrors they face, including the ultimate apex predators, dinosaurs. The movie is directed by Luke Spark and it stars Jeremy Piven, Ryan Quanten, Tricia Heffler, and more. The trailer sets up a tense, action-packed survival horror film that leans into both a war movie theme, more specifically the Vietnam War theme, and also blending this with sci-fi creature terror. We see soldiers scrambling through the dense jungle terrain as raptors with striking feathered designs stalk them from the shadows. And there's a massive T-Rex that charges through the jungle and causing a lot of chaos. The tagline for this movie is, "This ain't no walk in the park," which is, to be honest, a cheeky nod to Jurassic Park, and in a way saying that this is how true dinosaur horror should be like. And with the trailer out, Primitive War clearly aims for a darker, more brutal take on dino horror. Unlike the big-budget Jurassic World films, Primitive War is working with a more modest production budget, meaning it relies more on atmosphere and tension rather than flashy effects. The war-torn setting, intense firefights, and desperate struggle for survival would make this a unique twist on the dinosaur genre. While Vietnam War films haven't been as popular in recent years, the addition of dinosaurs here would add a fresh and exciting element that could set this one apart from the rest. Though there is no firm release date yet, Primitive War is slated to hit theaters this summer. Whether it can overcome its lack of major Hollywood star power will come down to how well it delivers on its premise. If done right, it could be a sleeper hit for fans of military action and dino carnage alike. It could follow the likes of Godzilla Minus One with a modest production budget, but still a very successful movie. Now we will tell you the 5 prehistoric creatures that were seen in the trailer, and based on the bestiary of the Primitive War novel, we will also tell how big these 5 monsters of the jungle are. Of course, it is obvious that there will be more species that would be seen in the movie when it comes out or in the second trailer, but as of now, we will only focus on the ones that were shown. The first is of course the shadow of a large flying pterosaur over the Vulture Squad as they are making their way through some long grass. This giant pterosaur is the Quetzalcoatlus. Yep, seems like we will be seeing and comparing 2 of these creatures this year, the other one being from the Jurassic World Rebirth movie. So these here are one of the largest pterosaurs that have ever been discovered in the books. They are stated to be around 18 to 20 feet tall or 5.5 to 6.1 meters in height, a bit taller than a giraffe, and they would have a wingspan of around 12 meters or 40 feet, which is as long as a large school bus. Then of course we see the soldiers running in a state of horror and panic in the middle of the jungle, chased by a large theropod dinosaur. This is of course the Tyrannosaurus Rex in the movie. It'll be one of 2 specimens that would be seen. These would be a mating pair, and they are stuck in the Vulture Valley in Vietnam, like the rest. And according to the books, one would be called Father, and the other one would be called Mother. These 2, according to the bestiary, are larger than any real-world fossil that was discovered, even bigger than the most recently discovered Goliath that was estimated to be 42.8 feet long. So anyway, these T-Rexes here are 45 feet long, or 13.7 meters. And 16 feet tall or 4.9 meters, and they weigh around 15 tons, 5 or 6 more tons than the real world estimates. They would also be covered in what are called proto-feathers from the neck to the tail and along their backs, but with their bellies, legs, arms and head being without feathers or naked. And let me add just one more thing. Primitive War seems to have a Kong Skull Island vibe, and the creatures here, the CGI for these creatures are surprisingly impressive and not like those low-budget films, and despite not even having a large budget for the production, which is quite impressive. Then the next creature here is seen in a jaw-dropping scene, a large crocodilian jaw that emerges from the river and attacks the soldiers traveling by boat. To be honest, I was like, oh, that is the Jurassic Park 3 Spinosaurus. Seems like it's getting a better deal here. But in reality, that creature wasn't even a Spinosaurus, nor was it even a dinosaur. That, my friends, is a Kaprosuchus, one of many that are trapped in the Cold War era Vulture Valley of Vietnam. These Kaprosuchus are long-legged crocodilians, with their long legs allowing them to be capable of being land hunters, although they are still mainly aquatic predators. These Kaprosuchus are territorial, and they are very defensive of their territory towards other species. And like modern-day crocodiles, they live in groups along river systems. In this world, they are 20 feet long, and they weigh 1 ton, but in reality, adult Kaprosuchus were smaller, only being around 10 to 11 feet long and weighing around 400 to 500 pounds. So as bad as we want to see a Spino, we would just get a long-legged croc instead, which might be a better deal. The next one is in fact a dinosaur, and this one you might have missed out on since they were only shown as bright reflective eyes in the darkness, watching a soldier making his way in the dark. And surprise surprise, these are the Deinonychus, in fact a large pack of them. The Deinonychus in the book of Primitive War and their comics and bestiary are described as wolf-sized predators, which are about 6 feet long and weighing around 150 pounds. However, in reality, Deinonychus were actually larger, reaching 10 to 11 feet in length and possibly weighing around 220 pounds or 100 kilograms. Anyway, in this universe, they are covered in thick blue feathers, except for their hands and feet. Their feathers resemble fur, except for the ones in the wings and the tip of their tail, which can be called proper flight feathers. And lastly, we have the raptors, as we saw with the raptor foot and the claw in the mid-scenes, and then the reveal in the end of the trailer, where we see 3 feathered raptors with a raging fire in the background. These, my friends, are not velociraptors. They are the larger and more powerful Utahraptors. Like the Jurassic Park velociraptor, these ones here are also extremely intelligent, with some individuals learning how to open doors and even recognizing individual human faces and keeping grudges. They live in large colonies or packs, which are formed around a communal nesting ground. They are, as you would have observed, covered mostly in a heavy coat of feathers on everything but their lower legs and head. They are also way larger in size than the Jurassic versions of velociraptors. These Utahraptors here are 8 to 10 feet tall and around 20 feet or 6.1 meters long, and they weigh just under 1 ton, which deviates from the real-world estimates of being 10 to 11 feet long and weighing a few hundred pounds. These raptors would be the main villains or the creature enemies of the soldiers in the Vulture Valley. So those are the 5 creatures seen in the trailer and would be seen in the movie alongside others.